Hey, what's up, witches? Today I'm back with a quick little video which is going to be mostly made up of my own personal UPG, so be forewarned. This is a subject which is kind of near and dear to my own heart, which is why I wanted to talk about it, just because it's a big part of my own personal, spiritual, and witchcraft related beliefs, and that is the concept of portals. So today we're going to talk all about portals, what constitutes as a portal to me, and then get a little bit more in depth on specifically the subject of mirrors as portals. So what is a portal? Well, it's obviously something that can act as a doorway to another world. And usually I see them as occupying what we would call a liminal space, a place that can be viewed as a somewhat of an in-between place. It's neither quite here nor there. These are places like crossroads where two roads are meeting and it's not quite going one direction or the other direction. You're just kind of hanging out in this limbo place where you could really go anywhere, but you're not going in a specific direction yet. So it's like this potential energy. What other things can we consider as liminal spaces? Well, particularly in paganism and folk belief, water was believed to be a liminal space because it's just this plane which separates the above from the below. We'll see a lot of beliefs centered around bog offerings and the like because water was viewed as a portal to another world, or in some cases, the other world. In a very similar way, particularly within Norse paganism and things like the concept of utiseta, or sitting out on a barrow mound or a grave mound, the barrow or cairn or burial mound could also be seen as a liminal space between our world and the afterlife or the underworld. So you'll see a lot of legends and sagas in the Norse realm particularly of people being able to enter the grave mound and kind of go underhill, similar to the concept of like the she hills, where it can act as a portal or a passageway to the afterlife. And for my own personal UPG and beliefs, so I don't have any kind of scholarly or folkloric source to back any of this up, but I personally believe that when you're wandering around in the woods, if you come across a branch which is kind of drooped over in the shape of an archway, to me, that signifies a portal to the other world. So if you're on a hike with me in the woods, you might often see me scurrying off into the underbrush to duck under an archway branch because I want the Fae to come and take me away. Please get me out of here. So that's just one of my own personal beliefs, just because, it seems like it could act as almost like not just an archway, but also a doorway. But what I really wanted to delve into in this video is the subject of mirrors. Are beliefs surrounding mirrors mere superstition, or were they formed out of an abundance of caution? For me personally, I am very superstitious about mirrors, and this was way before I started delving into being a practicing pagan and witch. I'm sure we've all played around as kids with that phenomenon where you point two mirrors toward each other and see infinite reflections of yourself. But apparently, some cultures believed that a mirror reflects not only your physical self, but also your soul. And so very similarly to more modern day superstitions surrounding having your photo taken and the belief that it would capture your soul, people in ancient civilizations would sometimes believe similar things about mirrors. So very frequently when someone in the household passed away, the policy would be to go around and cover all the mirrors in the house so that the person's soul wouldn't get trapped in them and would be able to move on to the afterlife. I personally have always really abided by feng shui principles when it comes to mirrors in the household, specifically the belief that you should not have a mirror in your bedroom facing your bed. When I was growing up as a kid, my childhood bedroom had mirrored closet doors and my bed was facing the mirror. And I just really didn't like the idea of staring at myself too long when I was trying to go to sleep, or the idea that maybe like your reflection was watching you while you sleep. Was just very disconcerting about that to me. So I definitely followed that when I moved into this house. We also have mirrored closet doors, and I absolutely refused to put the bed so that it would be facing them this time. And I'm also very particular about when we go to sleep, the closet doors have to be completely shut. I don't like it when the door is slightly ajar and the mirrors are angled. I don't know why, it just bothers me. I feel like it's bad feng shui. Feng shui is all about the flow of energy and confusing evil or bad spirits or malicious energy. So giving the good energy a way to properly flow throughout your home and being able to reflect, confuse, and bounce away any negative energy or spirits. So it is okay in feng shui principles to sometimes have a mirror in the corner of the room or behind the bed to reflect or bounce away negative energy, but they do specifically say that you should not have a mirror facing your bed, and that is definitely something that I always kind of felt instinctually even before I found out it was an actual feng shui principle. So like I said, that's just me. I have very weird superstitious beliefs when it surrounds mirrors in my personal space, specifically the bedroom. They also believed that this was dangerous because, and I can speak from, personal experience on this, that the soul can sometimes leave the body when you're sleeping to astral travel. And so you don't want the soul to get confused when it's trying to return. If you have a mirror facing your bed, the idea is that your soul might get confused when it's trying to re-enter your body and accidentally try to re-enter the reflection and not your real physical body. I also, for some reason, always thought while it was fun to do the thing with getting infinite reflections of yourself, it's almost like playing around with your soul in a way. I don't know. It's cool, and you always feel like you're peering back and back and back and back into these other realms and seeing other versions of yourself. But then it also gets to be that creepy feeling if you stare at it too long, if you stare too long into the abyss also stares into you. I don't know. Let me know what you think about these things, or if it's just me being crazy over here. The overall idea for me is that mirrors can also act as a portal or as a doorway, because like I said in my cleansing videos, spirits aren't really gonna be able to tell or necessarily care about our everyday distinction between a doorway that's an outside door or just any old doorway in your house. For us, the only entrance and exit into our home is the front door. But to a spirit, a door is a door, and a mirror as a portal is also a door. So that's why I have definitely learned throughout the years that when you are doing a spiritual cleansing of your home, it is very important to not only get your exterior doors and all of the doors, I do closet doors, all the doors in my house, get specifically cleansed, but I've also started cleansing and sometimes warding the mirrors in my home as well. So I just wanted to throw all of this out there to you guys and introduce not only the concept of portals to you all, but my own personal beliefs when it comes to how mirrors can act as portals, and just leave you with that information and share with you my own personal belief and UPG as it specifically relates to mirrors acting as a portal. Don't really have a whole lot to back it up. I did a quick preemptory Google search of beliefs about mirrors, but it's all just kind of untraceable, unspecified folk superstitions where it's we don't really know exactly how this belief came to be. It's just known. It is known. Aside from the specific feng shui principles about mirrors, that was the only specific thing I could find as it relates to, but it's definitely one that I put a lot of stock behind. But yeah, that I personally have always inherently believed to be true. So let me know what you guys think about this. How do you feel when it comes to mirrors? Are you superstitious about mirrors? I don't really take it as far as the breaking a mirror is 7 years bad luck or anything anything like that. But yeah, when it comes to how I position mirrors in the home, how I interact with them, and how I treat them when it comes to spiritual cleansing, I do think that it's not so much superstition as just an abundance of caution. Share your own thoughts, feelings, and opinions about this topic in the comments down below. And until next time, stay classy, pagans.